Hi, welcome back to my channel. Wow, very attractive. Hola, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Cassie. No, I really hate intros. Hey, what's up? What's this? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? It's me, Cassie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Cassie. I think I said that already. If you're not new, if you've been here before, hey, what's up? Welcome back. Today's video is going to be a January wrap up. And this is my first time doing this, so I'm very much excited. I'm very much excited to talk about it to talk about these books because I love talking about books, and I feel like there's nobody around. Like, I don't have any like friends that like read like I do, so I don't have anyone to talk about these books with. So I would love to make new bookie friends and like talk about these books and just books in general, because it's when you finish a book, there's just this thing, and I feel bad for my husband because I literally just tell him about shit he does not give a fuck about, but he tries, and that's what matters. But it's, something about when you finish a book, it's like you want to like tell everybody about it, and it's like no one is feeling the emotions that you're feeling, and it's like I need to scream. So these are going to be perfect for me to just get those emotions out. And honestly, I think it would be better if I do, and I might do this in February. I think it would be better for me to do it like when I start the book, and then like as soon as I finish the book, and then make a compilation video like that of like all the books that I finished in November, just so you can get like my raw emotions. Let me know if I might not do it for February. Actually, I just thought about it because I just already finished my first book in February, and there's no point. There's no point for me to do that. But anyways, so this video was supposed to go up February 6th, but it did not because I did not film it, and I've been sick. I've been feeling like shit, and I'm finally feeling a lot better. So I'm here filming, and I know I look like shit because I'm not gonna put on makeup, but pinch my little cheeks to get some pinkness in there. But anyways, so let's just get into the video, because when I start talking about other shit, it's like, let's not go there. So I'm excited, and I honestly have a notebook where I wrote down my feelings, because honestly, okay, let's get your feelings together, Cassandra, because your mind goes faster than your mouth. It's been a very mediocre reading month for me, meaning like the general consensus of like the ratings that I gave for these books is like 3 stars, which is sad because I love me a 5-star moment. And I didn't have that this month. I didn't have any 5-star reads. So y'all, but let's just jump into it so we can get into it. But I wrote my feelings down because I forget things very easily, and especially if I didn't love it. Like if I did not love it, I'm 100% not gonna remember not a goddamn thing from this book. All right, so the first book that I read in January is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. This is it's not a thriller, it's a mystery, like a family mystery book. It's basically, the premise of this book is this family that live in, I believe, Ohio. Yes, Ohio. Are a Chinese American family. So the mother is white American. The husband is Chinese. Born in China, I'm pretty sure. But they marry, have kids or whatever, and they have their second born daughter named Lydia, and she is dead. That is not a spoiler. It's literally the first sentence in the back. It says Lydia's dead, but they don't know this yet. That's the first sentence of the book too. It says Lydia's dead. but they don't know this yet. Lydia's dead, but they don't know this yet. Anyways, okay, it doesn't matter. So basically they live in Ohio. This takes place, I believe, in the 1970s. So, you know, what's that called? Biracial relationships weren't really like accepted still. Like, I mean, not that they're accepted now, because racism is still alive and well, unfortunately, but it was when it was like nobody was doing it, you know. So if you did, it's like you were looked at, you were talked about, you were judged, X, Y, and Z. So being a Chinese man and marrying a white woman was very much not accepted. So that already started problems in the family with a mother's mom and things like that. But the daughter, being that there was like a lot of drama that happened in the family, she was like their favorite child. She was like, you know, what's those classes, like those AP classes, she did all that, but she was not telling her parents that, like, yo, I'm overwhelmed, because she didn't want to disappoint them. Meanwhile, they have two other kids, an older son and a younger daughter, who both were pretty much neglected and very much felt that way. So it was just kind of like a journey for every single person in this family, finding out that this daughter, their favorite daughter, is dead, was found dead. And just like it's really sad and really crazy, because you try to, when you can't communicate, this literally is lack of communication is what this book is about. And when you can't communicate with your family, your own feelings, your parents, your own feelings, and they just put so much pressure on you as a child, you have so much that you can do. And I can speak from experience, like there's so much that you can do to kind of like cope with that and let it out in other forms. And that's basically what happened. And unfortunately, it led to her death. So this book kind of just takes you through the journey on like what the mom was thinking, what she's gone through, what the father was thinking, what she's gone through. It takes you to the past, on the beginning of their relationship, in the beginning of their their lives, the sons and daughter, like things like that. So you kind of like see the full circle on what led them to this point right now. So it was very good, but kind of slow, and the ending was like, oh, I mean, deep, low-key, but like maybe I just wasn't in the right headspace for it. I thought it was, like I said, I thought it was good. It was a good book. It was well written, but it was very slow for me, and frustrating on the lack of communication. And I really felt for like the youngest daughter. She like got no love and no attention from her parents, and I'm like, that's gonna fuck her up in the long run. Like, I'm gonna tell you that right now, that's 100% gonna fuck her up. So I was kind of frustrated a lot of the times reading this book, but all in all, I thought it was like a good read, and it was very short. Actually, it looks short, but the pages are like thin as fuck and like drenched in words, and it's a lot of like explaining and little dialogue, like very little dialogue. And I'm someone who like enjoys dialogue. I don't really like a lot of narrator talking, you know what I'm saying? I want to see interaction between people, because that's how I kind of like understand things. So I was kind of confused sometimes too, so I had to go back. It took me a while to read this book. I think that's why I rated it so low as well, because it just took me too fucking long. But anyways, all in all, I think it was an okay book. I wouldn't read it again. If you like mysteries, maybe you should give it a go. It has good ratings on Goodreads, so maybe it just wasn't for me. But I rated this 3 stars, and that's all I have to say about this book. Okay, so the next book I read, I was so excited about that I've had this book since like, sorry, my ear literally itches. I've had this book since like, I want to say September of last year, and I've been putting it off because I'm like, I want to read it when I'm in Hawaii. And then I went to Hawaii and I didn't read it. I started reading it and I just couldn't get into it, and so now I'm here and I'm like, I need to like read this book just to get it over with, because I had already started, and I'm like, I don't like starting things and not finishing them. So that's where I am with this book. Beach Read by Emily Henry. And this is going to be a very unpopular opinion because everyone loves this book for some reason. I absolutely was bored the entire time. Like, maybe not the entire, maybe that's dramatic, but for a lot of this book, I was bored. And I hate to say that, but it's the truth. And let's just get into it. So this is a book about January Andrew. Am I making that up? Oh no, yeah, January Andrews and Augustus Everett, aka Gus. And I think they call her Janie or Jan, or I don't know what the fuck they call her, to be honest. Anyways, who gives a shit? Yeah, they're like college rivals. They're both authors. She writes romance and he writes like literary fiction. And she goes to a beach house. Something traumatic happens in her family, I guess I'll say, and it makes her move into this beach house that her father owned, and supposedly a secret life or whatever the fuck. And it happens to be her next door neighbor is Augustus Everett. Oh my god, what a quink a dink. So yeah, that's literally all I have to say. They were college rivals back in the day and had like a thing happen back in the day, but that's literally about it. So they run into each other in like a coffee shop, and then that's when like their not relationship like that, but like, you know, that's when that ensues. But she really disliked him, because he would make fun of the fact that like, oh, you write romance, blah blah blah, like romance is such a like, you know, downplaying her romance, that just because she writes romance she's not a real author, blah blah, this stuff. And which, rude, because romance is literally the best. Yeah, I literally cannot tell you more because it was that boring. I mean, they take on each other, so they like, honestly forgot how they even like cross each other's paths and like what happens. But like, they come up with this competition on like, okay, you think that it's so easy to write romance, you write me a romance. Since they're both in like a rut, you write me a romance, I'll write you a literary fiction. And so it goes on from there. So they take on each other on different like outings to like get you your inspiration. And this is what I do to like kind of get inspiration to write usually my literary fiction or my rants or X, Y, and Z. And in those outings is when they start to like, you know, get feelings for each other. But she knows that he's like a player, and like he's always been a player. He's never kept a relationship for more than a month, and blah 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 the stuff. And she knows this because of college him. And he is he remembers her, and he like always been attracted to her, but she doesn't know that. So it's just like I don't know, it's just like super boring to me. It was just boring. It was really boring. A lot of the time I wanted to skip chapters, especially when like they went on his outings, because I'm like, what are we doing? We're like following a cult, and I like did not sign up for this. I do not care. Like, I literally do not care. And then he just seemed like so wishy-washy the whole fucking time, and I cannot stand a man that's wishy-washy. Like, I just cannot. So I just felt like he was his tendencies, not him per se, and maybe because he was going through a lot, but I don't care. Like, when you are into somebody, you don't do the things that he did, and I frankly would have been just as annoyed as she was. So I don't know, I have problems with this book. I didn't like this book. Beach Read my ass, because it literally, they live off of a beach, but like went to the beach like twice. Like, okay, why is this a beach read? This has nothing to do with a beach. You should have named it something different, like Book Wars or some bullshit like that, because this was not like a beach read. You fooled me, kid. And it's not like an easy read where it's like, not that it's not hard, but it's not like it's an easy, like light, lovey-dovey, you know, relationship beach read that you would read at a beach, because you want to like kind of escape and not have like, it's too deep. It's too deep for a beach read. And then like there were so many like side plots that I'm just like, this January girl, I want to punch her in the face. There were some things that I did like I told you, like the romance outings, I enjoyed that. But other than that, you can miss me with this. I will not be reading this again. Will I recommend it? I mean, if you want to give it a go, because it's one of those famous TikTok books that everyone is like obsessed with, sure, but do not expect Hating Game vibes or like a good romance vibes. Not in my behalf. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say. For a book that I hated, I didn't hate. For a book I disliked, I sure can speak a lot about it. So let's move on. So the next book is One of Us is Lying, which is a mystery thriller, YA, I'm pretty sure, which stands for young adult if you didn't know, by Karen McManus. I loved this book. I actually really enjoyed it. Not enough to give it 5 stars or 4 stars because I rated it 3 stars, but I did like it. Basically, the premise is that these 5 kids get detention. Oh, my ears, why do they itch so much? 5 kids get detention, and they got detention for all the same, literally the same reason. Every single one got detention for the same reason. And one of them ends up dying. And now there's 4 left in detention, and they're all looked at as suspects because this one that died has like a gossip vlog where he talks, kind of like airs out everyone's dirty laundry, you know, and they all have something to hide that he was going to let out. So with that being said, they all have a reason to want him dead in everyone else's eyes. So you do get 4 POVs. You get every single one of these people's POVs. I don't even remember their names, honestly. I know it was Nathaniel because I remember his name because he was amazing. Oh yeah, Bronwyn, Addie, Nate, and Cooper, and Simon. Those are the 5, can I count? The 5 that were in detention. So yeah, basically you get all their POVs. They're all so different. Bronwyn is like this, you know, academic star. Then you have Cooper, who is the athlete. You have Addie, who is the popular girl, and you have Nate, who is like the troublemaker / criminal vibes. And of course he's my favorite because why not? Why wouldn't you? There is a romance that ensues in the book, and I honestly fell in love with the romance. I was honestly like reading it more for the romance than for the like mystery part of it, but I did not expect what happened at the end. It was really good. Like, I liked it for the reason that I did not expect it. It was another one of those like miscommunication, and like I hate in books. I know why they do it because it's like, you know, this is the reason why you're reading it. But there's like, I hate when books tell you or like have that like shit where it's like the guy makes a decision for the girl, like, I'm not good for you, like, you deserve so much better. And it's like, my guy, let me decide that for me. Like, you don't make decisions for me. Make decisions for yourself. If you don't want to be with me, you don't have to. Just say that. Don't make decisions for me. And that kind of what happened here in the romance, which frustrated me because I love him so much. I loved them so much as like a romance. I just thought it was such an odd couple, but so good. Like, it worked so well. But it was, yeah, that's all I really have to say about this. I don't want to give too much away because you should definitely read it and see for yourself. It was a very fast read. I think I read it in a day. This is actually my sister's book. She let me borrow it, my little sister, and I have to give it back to her. But it was actually really good, and they do have a second one coming, or that's already out, I'm pretty sure. Same school, different group of friends, or different group of high schoolers, but I heard that some of the original cast make a cameo, so I don't know. I don't think I will be picking up the second one. I think that this was like enough for me. It was very childish, like immature, but in like not a bad way. So I rated it 3 stars. I thought it was good, and an easy read. So if you're into something like that, then you should give this a go. Okay, so the next books, because I did something that I've never done before, and it worked out for me, and I was actually very like impressed with myself, and maybe like my reading skills are getting better that I'll be able to do this, but I think they have to be from different genres. But I read 2 books at the same time, and that's new for me. So I read one on my Kindle. So the one on my Kindle that I read was One Night of Sin by Elle Kennedy, and I rated that one 2 stars because honestly it was like simple. Like, it had no plot. It was about this guy who I'll put a picture up here so you guys can see the anyways, whatever. It's about a guy. His name is Gage, and he is an MMA fighter, also slash like club owner. And he meets this girl at his club, where he is like, you know, overseeing things, makes eye contact with this girl that he's like, oh, she cute. And what's her name again? Skylar. And she's like a good girl, look vibe, but she was like stepping out tonight. She looked like really hot and blah blah blah. And they have a interaction, and basically the relationship ensues from there. But there was really no plot. It was just like a fun little silly read, like silly goofy moment for me, because he was like this bad boy that like, I'm not good for you, what I was just talking about, and she was like this good girl that was like, I just want to have fun, I've never done this before, I just want to have sex, let's just keep it, you know, that. But then ends up, you know, the inevitable happens for him as well. So it's like, there was a little bit of plot, but honestly so stupid, and it literally did not need to be there. So the romance was okay, the plot was okay, there was sex, and it was amazing. So I gave it 2 stars because it is what it is. It wasn't anything amazing. I know there's like other series, and I think it takes place with the other friends, because other friends were introduced in this book. So I think that's what it has to do with. But other than that, it was just a basic book, nothing crazy. And I think that's why it helped. It was a short one. It was like 200 and something pages. And that's why I think I was able to read it in comparison with the next book, which is The Secret Book and Scone Society. And actually my mother-in-law she bought this book for me. And I was honestly skeptical because I never read like a book like this. Excuse me. I never read a book like this. So I'm like, what, you know, am I gonna like it? Is it gonna be too corny? Is it gonna be cheesy? And honestly, I loved it. Like, I loved it. I gave this one how many stars did I give this one? 4 stars. I gave this book 4 stars. It is a mystery thriller, slash kind of like a low-key, small little glimpse of a romance, but I loved it. So basically, the main character, Nora Pennington, she moved to Miracle Springs after something traumatic happened in her life back in the day. Something really bad happened that left her with burn scars on her arms and her face. And you do find out in the book what happened, but that's like, I don't want to give that away because that's anyways. So where she owns a bookstore called Miracle Books or something like that. And she has kind of like a gift where she is really good at like, she's kind of like empathetic, like an empath, where she can like, people can like come in and ask for recommendations. She's like, you know, she starts talking to them, kind of get a feel, and she's really good at picking out a book for your current situation on what, you know, based off what you shared with her and what you're dealing with currently. So she kind of has that gift to make you like, give you the perfect book for what you're going through in your life, basically. And then she meets a guy on a bench, and she's like, you know, he's talking to her about his life and saying that he's going through something really, you know, hard right now that he wants to get out of, he doesn't want to be part of anymore. And she's like, come to my bookstore, you know, when you get a chance, and I can help you out or whatever. Well, guy ends up dead. So that is basically where the story starts. She makes friends with local girls around her in like the same town, because before she literally had no friends. Like, she didn't let anyone in. She had her guards up. She was scared, and it's based off of what happened in her past. She was scared to kind of let people in her life. Single lady living by herself, like all that stuff. But she makes friends, and they formed the Secret Book and Scone Society, and they're basically trying to avenge this man's death because the police is ruling it a suicide, and they think 100% it is not a suicide. So they kind of go through their little like steps on who did it, you know, where was he at this time, trying to figure out the mystery behind it. And it's honestly so good. I was hooked from the beginning. This is another book that I literally read in like 3 days. Read in 3 days. I have a full-time job, okay, you guys. I can't just sit down and read all day. But I would have read it faster if I had more time, but it was honestly really good. I was hooked from the beginning. I was like give me more. I need to know what happened. And it kind of like left you at the edge of your seat, because they did a lot of shit that it's like, oh my god, you're giving me anxiety, you're gonna get caught, like things like that. And it's like, I've never read a mystery book that left me so like at the edge of my seat, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was cute, quaint, and like also mysterious and thriller vibes. So I really enjoyed this book, and there is like a small little tiny romance in it, which I enjoyed as well. And yeah, I heard that there's more books in this like world. I could be wrong. But yeah. Oh, did I say the author's name? Ellery Adams. But yeah, it was really good. I'm glad that I gave it a chance, and maybe I will pick up more from this author. So yeah. Did I say I gave it 4 stars? Because I gave it 4 stars. All right, you guys, we are down to the wire. I am on to the last book. The last book I read, I don't have a physical copy. Read it on my Kindle, so I put it up here. And it was Lilac by B.B. Reed, right? That's her name? Yeah, B.B. Reed. So basically, this is Lilac. Lilac is rated fucking R. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that right now off the bat. It is a reverse harem, which reverse harem, if you don't know, is like a harem is basically a man with multiple women. A reverse harem is a woman with multiple men. So, and I don't know, it has to be like relationships, but for sure sexually. So let's start from the beginning. So the premise of the book is that the main character, I believe her name is Braxton Fawn. She is a guitarist, a very, very skilled guitarist, and she, wants her chance at making it big. So I don't know if she has like an agent. This lady's her agent, I forget, but she gets her a job. And the job is basically to be the guitarist for this band named Bound. And the reason they need a guitarist is because their guitarist had overdosed and died. So they need a guitarist because they're still under contract and they need to finish 1 more year on tour. So that's why they hired Braxton Fawn. So there are 3 men. We have Houston, who is the lead singer and guitarist, like he's another guitarist. And then we have Jericho, who is the drummer. And then we have Lauren, who is the bassist. So they are all, actually Houston and Lauren are very fucking rude to her. Like bully vibes all the fucking way. Very grumpy, hate her from the beginning, was giving her the hardest fucking time for a lot of the book. Actually, I think I got into like 67% of the book till like shit started popping off. They were just mean to her the whole time. Jericho was a little bit more nice, more like she opened up to her a little bit more. She opened up to him a little bit more. But at the end of the day, those are his friends. They're like best friends. They've been friends for a long time, but their relationship is kind of struggling right now. So she is kind of there to like be the glue and help them not break up, and like also help them with their music because she's a guitarist. Anyways, they all end up, need I say more? Yeah, it's somewhat very, very sexy, very graphic. So if you don't like graphic, if you don't want to know the name of the thing that's going into the thing, then don't read this book, because you will be disturbed. If you love that shit and if you don't mind it, like me, read it, because I honestly loved it. It was a little bit much sometimes, not in a bad way for me, but like wow, we're really going there. But yeah, like it was good. I liked it. I rated the book a 4 stars. I do think that it was too long, and I do think the end was like a little much. Like the plot in the end was like, you didn't really need to do, like, we didn't really need to do that. That was like so unnecessary. But the rest, like, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole like touring, like you got the touring vibes, the tour bus, and like that was nice to read. I've never read like about a band romance, so that was like really nice to read. You kind of like were put in that scenario in your head and you can visualize it, so that was really cool. I never read anything like that. And yeah, it was just very sexy. And like she was a bad bitch too. Like she held her own. When they were mean to her, she was mean twice, like back to them, because it was 3 against 1, like literally 3 against 1. So yes, anyways, it was really good. Very hot. I would say out of all the guys, I think Lauren would be the sexiest to me, just because he was the most like dangerous as far as like just a hothead. We love a hothead sometimes. So that's how I feel. But other than that, like, I enjoyed the book. I thought it was good. If you want to read something and escape your real life and read something that's more like intense, sexually intense, because I had to take breaks. I'm like, okay, my body needs to like recuperate from what just happened. Yeah, so read trigger warnings because there are some triggering things in here, but if you're into that stuff, then hey, I enjoyed it. I had fun reading, and that's why I gave it 4 stars. So anyways, that is all the books I read this month, or January, should I say, for January. And that was a total of 6 books. That is the most books I've read in a month. And I didn't even feel like I was trying to like rush to like read so many books. I just take my time with them. If I have time to read, I try, because I really enjoy reading. But if I don't, then I don't. Like, it is what it is. But I'm surprised that I read so many books. 6 books. Like I said, that's my record. I don't know how people read more than that, because that was a lot. Like me, it's like almost like 2 books a week I can do. And sometimes a book a week, like that's what I get. But it just depends on the length and how much I'm enjoying it and how fast, like, you know, I want to get through it. But yeah, that is the books that I read in January. It was an okay mediocre it was an okay mediocre month, but I'm excited for February because it's the month of love. So I will be reading nothing but romance, because why the fuck not? So yeah, I think that's gonna be all. If you have any recommendations and want to share them with me, leave a comment down below. If any of these books are your favorite and I was talking shit about them, it's okay. We can have different opinions about books. There are some books, like It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, that people fucking dragged and hate. And I love that book. Like, I cried reading that book. So we can have difference of opinions. It's all right. It's all right. Like, let's just agree to disagree. Even though I do get offended when people don't like the books that I like, it's okay. It's all right. Let's move on with our lives. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching the movie. Yeah, because this is a movie. It's 100% a movie. Thank you for watching my video. Give it a thumbs up if you like videos like this. If you want me to do a February wrap up when the time comes. And leave some recommendations down below. And if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? It's literally free. Don't you love free shit? Just click on it and you get free shit. Like, I don't understand. You get free videos and reminded by them. So hit the bell. But yeah, that is it. I feel like I say a lot. I need to stop. I need to get back to work, so I got to go. I'm like running on little fumes. All right, you guys, thank you so much, and I hopefully will see you next Sunday. Bye.